After leading a coup that killed Soga no Iroka and devastated the Soga clan's influence in the Imperial Courts, see the previous episodes, the conspirators got to work continuing the late Prince Shotoku's ambition of unifying Japan under imperial rule. Now, after you get rid of the old boss, you gotta make yourself the new boss, right? The fresh new emperor, Emperor Kotoku, made Prince Naka no Oe the crown prince, his handler of state business. Nakatomi no Kamatari, the mastermind of the coup, took the newly created position of Minister of the Center, which was basically direct advisor to the throne, right below the crown prince. These guys wasted no time. They were like new teachers, freshly graduated, full of ideas and hope for the next generation, and about to be crushed by the reality that kids are gigantic dicks. They pushed for a bunch of reforms to thwart the influence of the clans and strengthen the emperor's power. They used Tang China as a model, and you can see the Confucian influence in their ideas. These were called the Tyka Reforms. Taika is the name for the era we're in, meaning great change. These great changers created a new system of land ownership and taxes on those lands. I want to talk about that in this video, but let's sprint through some of their other reforms first. They called for constructing a permanent capital city. All weapons were to be confiscated and put into government armories to prevent troublesome clans from uprising. They abolished the Bei, which were occupational guilds under the control of clans. People in these guilds were freed of their bonds to their clans. Of course, they still lived on lands owned by the state and paid taxes and owed labor to the state. The reformers ordered all lands to be made public. Public meaning owned by the imperial house. Asking clans to give up their lands to the state was a tall order and probably caused some pushback. As a gesture of good faith, Prince Naka no Oe gave up his own land holdings. See, he said, for the good of the state. Funny thing, he later became emperor, so the land he handed over ended up belonging to him anyways. Nice one, Prince Naka no Oe, I'm giving up my land. The clans eventually did give up their holdings, and didn't suffer that much for it. These land reforms were supposed to dampen the clans' power, but as you'll see, they kinda didn't. Who knew that running a country could be so hard? The Imperial Courts split the country into manageable chunks. You had provinces, and counties within those provinces, and villages within those. A governor was assigned to each level. One of their duties was to collect taxes from people living on their land, which was public land now, remember. Having a governor assigned by the state subverted the power of the local clan chieftains and landowners. Except it didn't. Technically, these local leaders gave up their lands to be ruled by a court-appointed governor. In practice, these local leaders usually became the governors of the lands they just gave up, so they pretty much remained in power. The Taika reformers further shot themselves in the saddle by permitting exceptions. Important clan members were allowed to keep private land, size dependent on their positions. Private lands did not pay taxes to the court. The emperor could also grant private lands to anyone he wished. A position in the new government came with a nice piece of land, but when you died, it became state property again. This prevented the land from becoming your family's own private property forever. Except it didn't. Many high government positions became hereditary in practice. A son usually got his father's position when he died, and so that land pretty much became private property. Public land was distributed amongst the people. Everyone got a small piece of property. Men got larger pieces than women. Slaves got even smaller pieces. Now, you didn't really control your land, the local governor did. So it was more community-owned, managed by the local governor who collected taxes from you. This system only applied to common folk, mind you. Imperial family members and the aristocrats had much larger land holdings. They had a census every 6 years. Officials would go around registering households to make sure land distribution was equal. And then we have taxes. Let's talk about tax, baby. The common folk paid taxes to the court in goods, mostly rice or cloth, but also goods that you or your land produced. There was also a labor tax, where people had to perform manual labor for the court a few days a year, up to 2 months. And, I found this interesting, each official above a certain rank paid a tax of one's sister or daughter to go to court and be a lady-in-waiting, or someone's attendant. Oh, and the woman had to be attractive. Yeah, that's what it says. Don't blame me, I didn't make it up. Of course, there were tax exceptions for the powerful. Monasteries and shrines didn't have to pay taxes. Neither did government officials. They actually got a salary. Now, if you look at these land and tax changes, they all seemed like half measures. The goal was to siphon power away from the clans, but all the exceptions and special treatment that clan leaders received pushed directly against that goal. Clan leaders had positions at every level of the new government. They collected taxes on their lands on top of the national taxes. They received special treatment for crimes. Plus, high court positions were, in practice, hereditary, so strong families became entrenched. The gap between the aristocracy and the masses widened. The reformers could have really stuck it to the clans and removed all those exceptions, so why didn't they? Well, for one thing, wide-reaching changes like these are hard to carry out. These reforms took decades. Also, put yourself in their shoes. Prince Naka no Oe, Nakatomi no Kamatari, and the other reformers came to power through a coup. Their peers weren't exactly like, "Oh, you guys killed our colleague in cold blood and now you're in charge? Great, we'd love it if you pushed us around." Now, their colleague was a bit of an ass, but still, it wasn't a good look. The reformers had to tread carefully or they risk facing another coup in the future. So they avoided completely overturning the rice cart, allowing the clans to pretty much stay in power. Still, you had to hand it to the Tyka reformers. It was another step in unifying a country under a centralized government, done mostly without bloodshed. Later reformers would opt for the more straightforward, bloody route. Thank you to the new patrons Yoko Elf and Accessible Japan. Welcome. Hey you maniacs, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, then leave a like. If you didn't like the video, then click the subscribe button to subscribe for more videos. And did you know that this video is part of a playlist? Oh yeah, check it out, it's over there. There.